Previously on Syrvivor. With the double elimination on the line, it came down to a scavenger hunt to find loot based on several clues given throughout the challenge. In the end, Maroon 9 came up with the win, sending Zeleny and Vicavora back to Tribal Council. Throughout the week, Paranoia set in on who had the idol and whether someone would give it up to someone in another tribe. At the end of the day, Jack found the idol given the clues and decided to give it to Erica. Erica played it at Tribal Council, sending Mitch home. For Zeleny, Mike was basically in the middle of both sides, Maroon 9 and Zeleny, and at the end of the day, trusting his gut and his past relationships, he dealt his cards and sent Eli home. With 11 people left and the merge now here, what will happen next? Who will be voted out? Find out tonight on Syrvivor Syracuse.
I want to start out by saying I didn't mean to be vindictive or to bully people, and the fact that some people are saying I bullied them is disheartening and not what I intended. I'm sorry, Erica, because that was not my intention. I just wanted you to know things that certain people have been saying behind your back because they have nothing to do with this game. I didn't think you would believe me if I told you outright. I'm not sorry whatsoever about anything else I did because it was well deserved. And if people can't handle retaliation, then maybe it's time to be doing the game. You made things personal from the beginning, and I refused to just stand there and watch my friends get shit talked. Ultimately, I was repeating what someone else said to me, so maybe put the blame somewhere else. I don't care if my game is ruined at this point, because at the end of the day, I feel like I did the right thing, and that's all that matters to me. People that know me will understand this, and I definitely went about it the wrong way, but it's time for people to start owning their shit.
Core 5 from Maroon 9 that's left totally think they have me, and I'm just lying to their face. They have no idea that I was part of that. We don't know if we're gonna swap now or just go straight to the merge. Seems like I'll be safe no matter what they think they have me, so I don't think I'm gonna be a threat at this point. But Mike is definitely taking some heat, so I might try to help him get immunity today if we merge. If it's me and him, I might just throw it to him. So we'll see what happens. Oh god, this is crazy.
This is the dumbest move in the history of Syrvivor Syracuse. Mike could have had numbers with us. He's banking on Derek to give him an idol. I can bet you my life Derek's not going to give him the idol that he gets at the merge. Let's just say I stayed in the game just to exact revenge from Eli because I'm pissed he went home, and somebody's going to be real offended when I vote them out in the future.
Whenever you're ready.
Alright, so that didn't go great. Erica's still in them according to plan, but Mike completely blindsided us. Eli's gone. Eli was my final two. Don't feel great about that. So obviously, it's me and Jack have each other as well as everyone else in our alliance. But I think that was a really stupid thing to do on Mike, from Mike's end. Mike's on the outs. Whether or not there's a tribe, another swap or a merge right now, I think he put himself on the out. See how it goes from here, but I think that was a really stupid thing to do.
I just found out that apparently Derek wasn't the snake. And I think Eli was actually the snake, because I saw the inside of Abby's envelope and she just had a no card, I just had a no card, so that means we voted out Eli, so we get a challenge advantage, not a snake advantage. So, I thought I was doing one thing, but I think I might have just benefited myself even more, because then Eli would have had a snake advantage that I didn't know about. But we're gonna pretend that I did know the whole time, to make myself look better. So I knew he had it, and that's why I flipped. So made a move against Power Alliance. None of them were happy, I could tell, but I had to do his best. Now it was a risk because now I'm putting a lot of trust in Austin and Geneva and hopefully Sean to stay on my side. I talked to Austin all before Tribal. He said that he was going to be with me no matter what decision I make. I'm hoping that's the case, but right now Derek's got his, well, don't know that yet. I don't know if it's merged, but Derek's got, if it is, Derek has his double idol. He has a snake advantage, definitely though. So get to see what that is. I just have to win immunity this week.
So welcome back, guys. We are down to 11 players. Sean, how are you feeling? You're a season 1 player. Now in a new cast of season 2. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling alright. It's a little crazier than last season, I'll say. So it's still taking me some time to get used to it. But I feel good. I haven't been to a travel yet. I know that will last forever. So just seeing how things fall, see where to go from there, I guess.
Fair enough. Just to reiterate, Eli and Mitch were the 2 last voted out at the double tribal. With that said, the snake was not voted out. So I will now open the opportunity. If the snake wants to reveal itself for an advantage in this game, the person can do so now. Abby, this advantage is yours. Read it at your own private quarters and do whatever you want with it. What's written there. All right. So, Andrew, I'll take that back. No. All right. So we've been playing for 40 days exactly. The entire season stretches around 82 days, depending on when we end. With 11 people left, Derek, talk to me. We started with 18, 19 technically, with Sean coming in. With 11 people left, the end is kind of in sight. Not necessarily halfway there, but we're getting close to it. How do you feel right now?
You know, it just kind of sucks because I truly feel that 2 really nice people left the game today. And that's always hard to see because, you know, you've become so close with these people. And it's not like you're not going to see them outside of the game anymore, but like, there's never ever going to be an experience again where we're all here like in one room necessarily and all doing like the same activity. You know, there's something really special about that. And whenever you lose like a piece of that, it's almost like you're losing a piece of your family. So like, it's a really disgusting feeling in your stomach.
Jack, talk to me about just the game in general. How are you feeling?
I mean, it's getting spicy. A lot of people do a lot of talking, I mean, including me, but there's a lot of people that think they got a leg up in the game, and they don't. They don't, and they're gonna go home, I'll tell you that right now. If I have anything to do with it, they're going home.
Sean, you have something to say?
Nah, it's tea.
Let's see, so 40 days in, I think I stressed you guys enough. You guys ready to find out your next challenge?
Yes.
Well,
Sir.
there isn't one for this week. Everyone, drop your buffs. We are merging. Let's give it to Valentina.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
Will she catch anyone?
Yeah, that looked real good.
And our tribe color is black. So instead of an individual challenge, everyone will be going to tribal council. There will be no immunity for this week. So everyone is vulnerable, no one will be safe, and there will also be no snake advantage this week. So everyone will show up to tribal council, and one person will be the 10th person voted out. Addie, how's that sound?
Not good.
Go.
Quick question.
Yes.
Because Addie was poisoned last week, so is that
Yes.
the next
Good
one?
point, good point. Since Addie, you were poisoned next week, next challenge you will not participate in the individual challenge. Since it is the merge, and we do not have a challenge, since everyone is vulnerable, we are having a merge feast.
Yay!
Merge time!
Let's go! Let's go!
Let's go! With all the fixins, just cheese. So, in celebration of making the merge, no challenge, everyone's vulnerable for tribal council, but let's celebrate with some nice warm pizza.
This one's for Eli. Never forgotten.
This advantage allows you to steal someone's vote at tribal council, thereby canceling their vote, rendering it useless. To use this advantage, please cut out this portion of the document and place it along with your vote at tribal. Damn. Let's see if we can use final ending. Fuck you, Mike.
Hello everyone, happy Saturday. I'm pleased to say that I made the merge. It's such an amazing feeling, especially after digging myself out of a hole for 5 straight tribal councils and making it out of that hole. I'm now at the same level with everybody else. I'm now at the merge. I don't really know where I stand. I hope that doesn't mean people will target me. I hope that it means that people will now feel more inclined to reach out to me and have me as a number, and hopefully I can secure some relationships or reform relationships I already had weeks ago prior to being on Big Evora. I think that this will be an opportunity for me to have a new life in this game. And I'm going to fight for Nahnsan, Daisy, Hannah, Megan, and Mitchell so that I make it to the end, because unfortunately, they've all gone out in unfortunate ways.
Since you and Sean D have both made the merge, you've been awarded the double idol. The idol is of a longhorn. Each horn represents its saving power in this game. Rules of the double idol are as follows. You must play them both at the same time, meaning if you play one for yourself, you must play the other for another, and vice versa. Remember, you do not have to play this on Sean. The idol advantage cannot be given away. This advantage must be played after all the votes are casted and must be physically shown to Luke when playing. Last time to play the double advantage is the final 6.
Austin told me that they all want me out now, which I don't blame them, but like they'd be dumb to get me out because now I'm just a shield for them. And what are they gonna do? Get me out and then go do what from there? So they're not gonna go after each other. They're gonna get out Derek and then Addie and then Geneva, and then they're all gonna live happily ever after as a 7? No. They're dumb to think if they're all not plotting against each other. And I'm hoping this week that if I am in trouble, Derek will play his double idol. They want to split votes, but they don't have the numbers to split votes. They think it's going to just be me, Addie, and Derek, and then everyone else against them. And I hope they know they're wrong, because I will not let that happen.
Mike last week blindsided Eli, which I kind of think I coaxed him into doing. Maybe he had planned all along, but I definitely was like, hey, I'm on board with this, you should do it. So that happened. Best part about it is the majority alliance of what's left of the core 5 from Maroon 9 plus Sean and Erica have no idea I was a part of that. So they trust me and they think I'm voting with them this week, which is true, but not true at the same time. Derek, by making the merge with Sean and still in the game, got his double idol, which is going to be pretty important this week. So right now, as it stands in the minds of the majority alliance, it's 7v4. It's us 7 plus Geneva, Derek, Mike, and Addie. But they have the double idol. And I want to work with them more because I recognize the fact that the core of Maroon 9's 5 alliance of Jack, Andrew, Summer, and Abby still in the game are much tighter with each other than I'll ever be with any of them. So there's no reason for me to lock myself into a position where I'm going to be facing an impenetrable alliance down the road. But I do need to be careful this week and cautious in my approach. So I'm going to let them think I'm working with them. I'm going to vote with them this week. So the votes on Sunday will be 7-4, I believe. I'm meeting with Jack today to talk about what's going to happen. So I'll update what happens thereafter. But they're going to tell me who they're voting for. And I'll know where the votes are going. And I will give that information to the minority alliance. So I'll give it to Derek and Mike and them. And assuming Derek plays the idol and the other 6 don't feed me a fake name, then the 4 of them will determine who goes home. So as long as they play the idol right. But if that happens, they pick out someone to go. Right now I think it's going to be Jack. And I'm okay with that. Jack is like the glue to their alliance there. I think when Jack goes, Erica becomes a bit more of a free agent. Sean does too. The girls might stay we'll probably stay together. Andrew kind of becomes a bit of a loner. I know Jack is really close with him. So once that happens, that group kind of, I think, is going to fracture a little bit. And if they don't, worst case scenario is the tribal council after, when it's 5v5, it's going to be them 5 voting against the 4 who are voting this week, plus me. I'm going to flip and vote with them at 10. So it's going to be 5v5, and I'm going to try to win immunity really, really badly this week, because if I have immunity, it gives me a lot more leverage to go to Sean and Erica and say, why would you go to rocks for these people? Vote with us. We have 6 if you come with us. No rocks. Game set.
So right now, the alliance I have is me, Abby, Jack, Andrew, Erica, Sean, so that's 6, versus Derek, Mike, Addie, Geneva, Austin. If Austin's working with them, we're not sure if he is, so that's 5. So next vote, we're planning on doing Addie, which is like fine, because we're gonna tell whoever that we're trying to vote Mike or Derek that hopefully we can get an idol out. So basically what I'm doing is starting a secondary alliance, because I want to get Jack and Erica out really bad. So this is how things stand now, and with Addie gone, it would stand like this. So say I want to vote Erica, I think these are the people that I could convince to do it, probably Derek too, but the Jack would just be so mad about that. I don't know if he would trust me anymore, so that's why I just have them over there, because I don't know what I do with them. But say that works out, then to blindside Jack, I would have all these votes again, because everyone wants him gone. Okay, so we just watched 2nd episode of Survivor, went great, and so Jack was hanging around afterwards. He came and talked to me for like 2 minutes. I was like, okay, I'm gonna go now, we're not even going to tribal. And then Abby texted me and she was like, I bet Jack's in Erica's room. And I was like, you're so right, because Erica lives here and he was still here late. So we went and knocked and they didn't open the door, and now we're showing Mike our text.
Here are the text. Summer, Jack, are you still here? I said, don't lie, we know you are. Jack, I literally talked to Summer, come find me. So I said, on it. And then Jack said,
I knew they were in Erica's room, and I know where Erica's room is, so I was like, we'll go down there.
Jack said, thinks I left. So he said, find me, Abigail, you're not here, I'm waiting. And so then we went, knocked on his door, Summer goes, open up. Jack said, catch me at College Place. Summer said,
like
don't
3
be
minutes
sus.
later.
Jack said, what the fuck do you mean? And Summer said, FaceTime us then, prove it. Jack said, I'm so confused. Wouldn't answer any of our FaceTimes. And then I said, we just want to talk about tribal, FaceTime us. And then nothing. So I said, do you think we're dumb? He said, do I think you're dumb? I said, open the door. He said, I got a paper to write, I'll call you in an hour. And I'm giving Erica the idol Friday before tribal. If you feel in trouble, Abby, let me know and I can give it to y'all instead.
Yeah, before we left, he was like, maybe I'll just stay in here and write my paper, like about the lounge. And I was like, what the fuck? So I went and talked to Geneva today. No one knows that, well, I said that I did, but just to see if she knew anything. And so I made a deal with Geneva. I was like, here's my pitch. You can take it, do with it as you want. Like, let me know if you want it. So to be able to gain trust between Geneva and I again, because I'd like to work with her. No one's gonna, I don't think anyone will vote for her in the final, and she's, I don't know, because I want to work with her. So I told her, if we want to regain trust this week at Tribal, I will tell her who my alliance is voting for. So then she'll have my trust that I'm telling her the right person, I'm not lying to her. And she will vote for that person so that I have her trust. And I know that she trusted me enough to vote for the person, which would be Addie. But so then if that works out, then I have a secret alliance with Geneva, which is good. I know it's only one person, but sometimes one is all you need.
So I am currently in Eggers Cafe, and I actually just met with Summer. She has not told anybody as yet that she's met with me. I did message Addie that it looks like Summer wanted to meet up with me, which is definitely interesting. I was a little like, I wonder what is going on this week for Summer to reach out to me all of a sudden after a couple weeks. But she basically expressed to me that she actually does want to work with me again. She regretted flipping on the Girls Alliance the first week and kind of wished that she moved forward with that. But she did basically mention that the reason we haven't really talked over the past couple of weeks is because, you know, she's been in a solid alliance and didn't feel the need to work with anybody else. But now that she's at the point of the merge, I think she's basically gotten to that point where she realizes, you know, there should be people she reaches out to, and she should play the game a bit differently. And, you know, she basically made an emphasis on, you were Jack's target this week, but I pushed him off your name. And she wants to know if I would be willing to agree to vote with her this week in exchange for trust and working together moving forward. And for me to indicate somewhere on my vote card that I wrote down whoever she told me to write down. So I thought that was definitely an interesting proposition. I feel like, you know, there's a potential for, I feel like, my game to reset. Definitely with a lot of different people.
All right. This week is very risky week for me. I didn't put myself in a great position for this week, but I didn't do that giving myself no chance. I knew that I would have a chance throughout this week, and my chance right now is Austin, Derek, and Geneva. I rely on them to get through this week, and it sucks that I had to put myself in a position to rely on someone, but it's people that I feel I can rely on, most being Derek. I trust. We just talked an hour ago. He said, I will play that idol if I have to. And playing this week relies on him playing the idol. Austin, I think I trust him too, because this is a large part his move, this plan that we have. So this would go on his resume. So I think there's a lot going for him to work with us.
If I don't flip, if I vote with the 7, go to final 7 with them, where do I get the numbers to not get voted out at 7? You know, there's no way I get a Jack, Andrew, Summer, or Abby to flip on each other. There's no way. It's never going to happen. No matter how many times the girls say that they think Jack would be a threat and would be willing to flip on him, it would never happen. I know that it's not worth taking the chance on. So making the move now makes sense because it'll put me in a powerful position. You know, the 4 people who are on the outside this week, who I'll be joining next week to bring majority there, they're going to trust me. They're going to value my dedication to them and willingness to do that to get there. And quite frankly, you know, I think that at the end of the game, I think there's more players on that side who I can beat at the end than on this side. You know, if I'm sitting next to Jack and like Geneva at the end, Jack's gonna get all the votes from the core Maroon 9. He's gonna get all those votes. There's no way I get him. So like, I have to figure out who can I sit next to that's gonna get me the votes at the end of the game. And you know, it's also a matter of putting people on the jury at the right time and putting people on the jury who are gonna vote for you.
So, a lot to talk about. I really am nervous about this week. I said a lot of dumb things at Tribal, but someone had to say it. Derek is somewhat in control, at least to him, which couldn't be farther from the truth. Mike made a dumb move, might have been the dumbest move so far. So nobody trusts Mike at all. Derek's Derek. Addie, nope. Geneva, nope. So there's 4 people that are alone out of the 11. We have 7. But when has there ever been a group of 7 that's had the advantage in the numbers that's stuck together and voted? Never. That's why we're voting Austin out. And this is Rob's Sister Nino, Season 6, Survivor Amazon. You eliminate the swing vote. Austin needs to go. I like Austin. He's a great player. And if he goes to the end, he'll probably win. So if people want to get Austin out, I'm all for it because that keeps me in the game longer. People want me out. People have always wanted me out. I have done a lot of things that have made people very angry. But that's how I have to play my game. And I got to keep moving forward with that strategy. I can't slow down. If I make it to the end and everyone hates me, so what? I got to get to the end. That's the only goal.
This has been the least talkative week of the entire game for me. Today, for the first time, I spoke to someone outside of my alliance of 6 for the first time all week. Geneva wanted to talk. She said that she has not been getting any information from either side this week, which, based on the history of her game, is not so new for her. And basically the 6 of us have just been saying, we're telling everybody that we're either voting Mike or Derek. We don't really know yet, whatever way we're feeling like that day. So everybody thinks that it's either Mike or Derek who we're voting for. Everyone's trying to recruit Sean. Abby too, I don't know why. Sean, according what he's been telling us, is that he's been playing into Derek, like saying that he wants to work with him, and if he votes with us then Austin's gone.
I am kind of like a free agent right now.
Okay, and we're trying to get you to our side, obviously. I don't know what to tell him. Okay, so I have not been able to stop thinking about the fact that the other 5 has not decided who they want out yet. Like, when does that happen in a game where people decide last minute, like they know? And I just think either they're playing Austin or Austin's playing us really hardcore. This point, like, I've seen like Austin's game and I don't think I trust him like at all. But at this point I can't do anything about it, which is even more frustrating. I literally, like, my whole life depends on Austin being honest, or I'm going home this week. Because right now it's everyone saying Mike or Derek, and so Derek would give the idol to Mike, obviously, but it's like, why would the 5 tell you who they're actually voting for? It doesn't make sense. It's like, I heard this from Abby and I heard this from Summer that they were going for Mike or Derek. But it's like, why would they tell us who they're voting for? I feel like I would not be surprised, actually saying this week is the most paranoid I've been, and I would not be surprised if they wrote my name down. I would not be surprised. And I just think it sucks because I've never been in this position where I literally cannot do anything about it at this point because we don't have the numbers.
A lot of things could happen this week. I know I have an alliance of 5. Me, Erica, Andrew, Summer, Abby. That's a lock. Sean, I hope he's right in there. Love Sean. I want to work with him till the end, hopefully. If I could pick a final 3, it'd be me, Sean, and Erica. I really think that it's important that we get Austin out this week because Austin could flip anytime, and Mike's working him hard. They have past relations, so I can see something like that happening. So we told Austin that we're gonna put pressure on Mike and Derek and try and vote one of them out. Hopefully they can flush one of the idols, but we're really gonna vote him out. I just got word that Mike has been pleading with Sean to flip and vote one of us out, which would be pretty unfortunate. Because if Eli would have stayed in the game, we would have ran it all the way to the end, at least till the final 5. So I'm pretty nervous. I've been opening my mouth a lot at Tribal. Not really afraid to speak my mind, and some people are gonna take offense to that because there's a lot of emotions running, a lot of emotional people that don't play with their mind, they play with their heart. So I definitely could be going home this week. Seriously concerned about that. So let's see what happens. I gotta put trust in people that might stab me in the back, but oh well, that's the game of Survivor for you.
Hello everybody and welcome to Derek is freaking out once again because he doesn't know what's happening this week. And for the first time, I really have no idea what's happening this week. It is Saturday night, the day before the challenge, and I have been trying to reach out to people all week and have gotten nothing. So essentially, basically what happens is, just kind of summarize, right now the way that things are divided is me, Addie, Mike, and Geneva are pretty tight versus the other 7. Now the thing is though is that we think that Austin kind of would rather work with us because he doesn't fully trust the other people in that 7, and Sean might as well. So that's something to keep in mind. I'll touch on that in a second. Now the thing is that I do have the double idol. I do. And it's become apparent at this point that I'm probably gonna have to play it. It's earlier than I'd like to play it, but you know, I'd rather be in the game than you know, not have an idol. I talked to Austin later in the week, and he starts talking about how they kind of realized that was dumb, which is smart on their part, and now they only want to vote for one person. I'm like, okay, do you know how that one person is? He's like, no, I don't, but I'm gonna talk to Jack, and I should know information know more information after that. The next day, Austin talks to Jack, and Austin basically says, like, Jack didn't even know who they were going to vote out yet. It's like, okay, a little weird, but I can understand if they don't really know, because technically we're all targets, and getting out one of us 4 would be a plus for them. So, you know, I was fine with it.
Wednesday, I met with Jack. Just walked with him for a couple minutes to talk about what's going on. And the way he broke it down was we're going to vote for either Mike or Derek, according to his plan. And then hopefully the idol doesn't get played or we flush it out or something like that. But, you know, Jack, of course, being Jack, and kind of knowing the game, knows that he has to switch his game into long-term too. So he also talked a lot about trying to convince me to stay on board with them. And he's like, yeah, I know you and Sean might feel like you're at the bottom of this group and stuff like that, but that's not the case. He's like, and then he tried really hard to convince me that once we, and to be honest, I don't get the whole like truthful vibe from Jack. You know, like playing this game, you can kind of tell when people are being genuine. You get that little like connection, that feeling of like trust. And when Jack talked, it didn't really feel like that. On Thursday, I heard that Sean might be flipping to vote with, you know, Derek and Mike and them, with me too. That's what they told him, was that they could get me on board too, potentially. So Sean and I have been in a little bit of communication about it. I have it on my laptop right here. I'll go through some of the texts, but it was kind of vague. I didn't want to reveal too much because I don't think they told him exactly how much I'd been in contact with them and how much I knew about it. So I kind of wanted to see what he said and be like, yeah, I haven't exactly heard that, but I'm going to talk with them soon about that. I told him how Jack told me that he would flip to work with us at 7, and I'm like, I'm a little suspicious of this. And Sean says, yeah, I'm not sure how much to trust that. Also, not sure how much to trust Derek and them. Like, we're kind of in the middle. He's like, I feel like I'm in limbo, which we kind of are.
Now the question becomes, though, who to play the idol on. Oh my god. So, who to play the idol on? That's a great question. They've all been saying my name and Mike's name. Now, they could be on us, which they're definitely not, because they're not stupid, and they're not going to vote for me if there's a chance that voting for me would make them go home. And I'm sure they figured that Mike would be the person that I most likely give the idol to, or play it on, because Mike saved me back when we had the tribe mix-up. Now, there's 2 things that they could be doing right now. They could be doing reverse psychology, in which they're kind of like, okay, we're gonna vote out either Derek or Mike. So that would lead me to be like, okay, so I'm gonna play it on myself and Mike. And then they vote out Addie or Geneva. That's one way they could be doing it. The other way they could be doing it is they could be doing reverse psychology. So they could be thinking, okay, so if we drop Mike and Derek's name, they're going to think that, you know, we're bullshitting them, and they're going to go for Geneva. They're going to give the other idol to Geneva or Addie. But then we're actually going to vote for Mike or Derek. I don't know. The adrenaline is pumping through my veins, and I'm sure that I will not be able to sleep well tonight, because I never can when I'm going to tribal. So, yeah, I guess we'll see what happens tomorrow, because I don't know what's going to happen. Maybe by now from the vlogs, you guys know what's going to happen. So we'll see. Hope everything goes well, and you know, if somehow I end up going home or somebody else goes home tomorrow, then I guess it was a good run, but we'll figure it out.
Big day tomorrow. Tribal individual challenge. It's not looking good for me challenge wise. As you could probably tell, I'm just sick as fuck right now. I've basically been bedridden since Wednesday. Consistent migraines. Can't even breathe out of my nose. My tonsils, I think, are swollen. Sore throat. Everything. I think the only thing I've eaten the last 2 days are 1 thing of easy mac and cheese and some Girl Scout cookies that my mom sent me. So, I'm not feeling too great right now, so I don't think I'm gonna perform very well at whatever this active challenge is, but we'll see how I feel tomorrow. Tribal-wise, I think we're voting out Austin. We know for sure that he's been kind of spying on us. He's still loyal with Mike, Derek, and them. So we've been telling everyone that we want to vote out Mike or Derek. Hopefully get at least one of them to play their idols, flush that out, and then just blindside Austin. Makes sense. I mean, Austin's a good competitor in challenges, and if we can't trust him to work with us, then excuse me, why not get him out before he's on to us?
Alright, so there's a lot that's going on this week. Got the authentic buff on, went home for the weekend. Back to Michigan for the day. I'll be flying home just to make it in time for tribal council. And I'm going to have votes written down for me for the first time this game. And honestly, I'm shocked that it didn't happen before this. I've done a lot of things that piss a lot of people off, which is fine. And I'm really happy that people think I'm going home, but I'm not. I have a great alliance of 6. Sean is doing a great job of playing double agent. He's getting Derek, Mike, and Austin to think he's going to flip and vote me out. And Austin has no idea he's going to get voted out. It's going to be not as good as Hannah's vote off, but it's going to be right up there. And whose idea was it to vote out Austin this week? Mine, of course. Just another move for me. If people don't catch on by the time final tribal comes and they ask, why'd you vote this person out? It's going to be because I'm the one who suggested it. Every one of them I suggested it. And although Austin is a good shield for me, because he could easily win if he gets to the end based on who the jury is, he's dangerous and he's really smart. Sean has been giving us a lot of good information. I really want to work with Sean in the future. Erica hasn't talked to Mike or Austin, but we really think that we can get Derek and Mike to possibly play their idols, because Abby talked with Addie and said that we were going to put our votes on Derek or Mike. So they think if they just both play their idols, they'll both be safe and whoever they vote for goes home. So if they want to risk playing both idols, that would be so great. Flush them both out. Oh my gosh. Also, Geneva, been blowing up my phone all week again. I don't know how I'm gonna... Oh man, I'm sorry Geneva, you're such a kind person, but just too much talking to me. And you're going to tribal every week till the end of the game. You're going to be at like 15 tribals in a row if you make it, but you're not. I can't wait to win this game. It's going to be great.
Okay, so I just had a good but like kind of nerve-wracking talk with Geneva because we secured our deal, which is if I tell her who my alliance is actually voting for tomorrow, I tell her the truth, and then she votes for them, then we're aligned and we have trust, which means that I have to not tell my alliance that I'm telling someone else who we're voting for, which is scary because what if she doesn't vote with me and then, I don't know, I'm scared because I'm not telling her into the absolute last second I can, so that she doesn't go tell them. Like, literally not until we're voting am I gonna be like, Geneva, we're voting Austin, go vote Austin, we're blindsiding him. So then that should be fine, unless when Luke asks if anyone wants to play an idol, she fucking talks to Derek and Mike and she's like, when did you play an idol for Austin? Then it's fucking all over. So I'm just gonna hope that doesn't happen. I'm really if both idols get played tomorrow and Austin goes home, I will be the happiest woman alive because then we can vote out Jack next so we don't have to worry about idols. So just really hoping that happens. We'll see how things go.
So it's about an hour and a half before tribal council. I'm really nervous. I don't really know what's gonna happen. I just know that Summer's gonna tell me the name to write down, and I'm gonna write it down, and I'm gonna star or put dots on both bottom sides to show her I voted with her, and that she can trust me. In addition, at tribal, I'm creating a finger signal to Addie when I find out whose name they're writing down. So with that, basically, I don't know if you'll be able to see this or not, but I will just at least let you all know. So It's 1 finger, it's Derek. It's 2 fingers, it's Mike. 3 fingers, Addie. 4 fingers, Austin. 5 fingers, Sean. Because they've made it clear I'm not the target. So I don't think that I would be, and I don't think Summer would be trying to include me in a vote if I was, you know? That would just be a little weird. And I think it would be weird for Abby to tell me and Addie that like they do want to get out Jack, but know that they don't have the votes this week. So I just feel like it wouldn't really make sense for Abby and Summer's game unless they were just really trying to mess with us. But I feel like, I don't know. I would just hope that they wouldn't be that mean. And I don't think they would be because, you know, they're both generally nice people. So yeah, so I'm going to try and use that finger system to indicate to Addie who they're voting for. So then she can try and communicate to Derek who to play the idol on. I'm starting to think they're going for Austin though, because they say they're going after the biggest target on our side. And if they keep saying Derek and Mike, and they assume that Derek and or Mike will have idols, and they're gonna put their votes all on one person, I don't think that Addie is really the biggest threat. And if they're not going after me, like, it must be someone on our side that is not apparent, because otherwise this doesn't make sense. I don't feel like they would go after Sean right now because I think they would use him as a number. And I don't think Sean, from what I've understood, doesn't want to flip unless Austin flips. But I feel like because Austin is kind of playing a really quiet game this week, he's, you know, giving us limited information, getting limited information from the other side. They're only saying Derek and Mike to him. They're only saying Derek and Mike to everybody, which makes me think if they're not telling Austin the full truth, that they're probably targeting Austin. So, you know, maybe one thing that would be really good to happen is if it is Austin, if Austin writes down Jack's name and we play the idol on Austin, then Jack could go home, but then I'd also gain Summer's trust. So that would be, that would honestly be the happy situation. So we'll see what happens. But ultimately, I'm starting to think it could be Austin. I'm not 100% sure, but I feel like the signs make sense with how things were going this week. I know they were going to split votes at first, but I think if they're not going to split votes, it would either have to be on Addie. But I just think, like, why would Abby talk to Addie? You know, like, it wouldn't make sense. So I'm just thinking that it has to be Austin, because otherwise I don't think it makes any sense, because I don't think they know for sure where he stands. And they don't know if they could trust him because he's kind of on both sides. So I think they're probably going after him. So it'll be interesting to see what actually happens at Tribal, and if we play the idols the right way and that Jack goes home. But if not, then I hope that this week, me, Abby, Addie, and Summer are able to get Jack out.
Just picked Jack up from the airport. Seems everything's good for today. We just got a bank that Sean isn't flipping. We're taking the risk of not using my advantage to steal a vote today, because next week it'll be down to 10 people. Our alliance 6, their alliance 4. And if I can steal a vote then it would be 6-3, and we could split votes to hopefully flush any idol that doesn't get played today.
I don't know. I feel like Sean's like 80% with us.
He's a little sus just because he's not answering all the time, but I think he's just a naturally bad texter.
I don't like people that are bad texters. I feel like he should be able to look at his phone and respond. Hasn't picked up any of our group FaceTimes. I don't know. But, I mean, if he wants to ruin his game, he can flip, and then I'll just go home. But I really want to go home.
I'm wondering, I talked with Geneva to see if they have a plan B, because now that we're not voting with them to vote out Jack, like if they're changing their target, but they really don't have a plan B whatsoever. So I think they're just putting Jack's name down because they don't have anybody else's name to put down, and they're just gonna hope for the best and hope that we're after Derek and Mike, and hopefully both idols get played and Austin goes home.
And I think Jack, who's calling the shots, is like, Addie doesn't win this game in any final three, so like just bring her there. There's no reason to target her. Like, I think that's what his rationale is.
Mm-hmm. So
like, I mean, I guess by that method it makes sense that they would do that, but
yeah.
He's not that dumb.
He
wouldn't just tell you his whole plan.
I don't. I just.
Unless he really just doesn't have a read on people, like.
Yeah.
But I just don't see him as that kind of person because he's smart.
Yeah, I don't know what the reason for them keeping this vote underground would be, and especially because they need me. They need me, Sean, or Geneva, at least one of us. And like we've all been told Derek. If we're all being honest, I know Geneva is being honest. Like they definitely told Geneva Derek. They told me Derek, and then like they would. I would like to believe Sean would have said something if it wasn't Derek, but I don't know. And I'm not gonna waste time getting paranoid about like, oh, if they're keeping me, maybe it's me, but I'm not gonna worry about that. Like it's at this point, I'm just gonna put my vote down and put my faith in Sean. But I think Sean's like the exact same thing, but with me, like I'm just gonna assume Austin's with
For me, this is completely like a faith vote.
No, yeah,
Like,
absolutely.
I have to.
Like, I'm gonna tell Derek, like, if you get any bad reads, like, safe than sorry. Like.
On that note, Andrew, what do you think about this merge situation? The people that made the merge.
I mean, I'm not really surprised by anyone here. I think everyone here has obviously played the games in different ways. I think that everyone's here for a reason. Everyone has a chance to come out on top. So, see how it goes.
Summer, talk to me a little bit about who got voted off last week. Eli and Mitch, both Maroon 9 members. So looking back to the original tribes, right now there's 5 Zeleny, 5 Maroon 9, and then Sean. Are those lines like that, or is it kind of blurred?
They're definitely blurred at this point. I think they've been blurred for at least a few tribals now. It really sucked to see Eli go. I wish he at least could have made it to the merge because he definitely deserved to be here, but definitely new alliances at this point, but I'm still feeling good for where I'm at.
Fair enough. Austin, so Summer makes a good point. The lines technically have been blurred ever since the first day. Now, do you think there's possible free agents amongst these people?
It's kind of hard to say that. I think that the way the dynamics have gone, there's a large majority group and then some people who kind of went on their own path and made moves that the majority didn't approve of. So I think they're kind of on the outside looking at this point.
Geneva, you've been on the bottom of Maroon 9 before, you can attest to that. How are you feeling right now that you made the merge and everyone is vulnerable?
I mean, I'm feeling probably just as nervous as everybody because I think with the merge vote, it could go any way. But in a sense, I do feel like the merge might be an opportunity for a new life for me in this game. And it's been interesting because I think a lot of people have been trying to figure out where I'm at, where I stand, that sort of thing. And I think maybe as we keep going through this game, people kind of have a sense of what I'm thinking and where I'm going.
Derek, so wrap my head around this vote. Do you think there's some free agents that you might talk to? Do you think you're a free agent? What do you think?
This is the first week where I could truly say that I have no idea what's going to happen at this tribal. I'd like to say that I know who's a free agent. I'd like to say that I know who's telling the truth. I'd like to say that I know who's lying, but I don't know. So I definitely think that you're going to see a lot of strong reactions here because I think a lot of us don't exactly know what's going on.
So Abby, obviously one of your closest allies, Eli, was voted out from the new Zeleny tribe that you were a part of, being one of your Maroon 9 members from the very beginning. How are you feeling right now? Do you trust your new Zeleny members that you merged with, or are you just going back to Maroon 9?
Last tribal said a lot about certain people. It wasn't that big of a shock, but it definitely told me what I needed to know, and moving forward, just putting my best foot forward. I don't cut anyone off in this game. I think that shoots yourself in the foot, but it told me what I need to do for this week.
Mike, as Addie and Derek and even Abby says, we've all been exposed to many different people in this game. We've gone to 2 tribes, to 3 tribes, now to emerge, even the transition tribal. How are you feeling this week? What do you think?
I don't think I've ever been more sure of what could happen, but more unsure of which of the possibilities will happen.
Talk to me a little bit about advantages. Now, you're not a stranger with advantages. You've played 2 idols before. How do you think an idol could affect this vote, being that there is 11?
Well, I mean, that would be... How many in a row has an idol been played?
it just my two?
Great
but
question.
like, we're no strangers to them, so for someone to pull one out would not surprise any of us, I don't think, especially because we know that they're out there. Obviously, idols change the game and change the vote, so.
Jack, in your mind, how many different ways can this vote go?
Two. There's only one way that they think it's gonna go, and there's one way we think it's gonna go, and hopefully it comes out on the way that I think it will go, and if not, it'll be me going home. So,
Geneva, do you agree with the same way? Do you think there's only two ways?
Yeah, I think at this point I've kind of come to the realization. I thought maybe there were 3 or 4 ways, but I think as of an hour ago and thinking about possibilities, I think there are only 2 possibilities. So we'll see what happens.
Now, speaking into the snake advantage, of course you guys will be voting for the last snake advantage today. Derek, talk to me a bit about a snake advantage. You were the first person to get a snake advantage. Nothing has really been said if you still have it, if it's still viable. Do you think you're a target today?
Definitely think I'm a target. Special shout out to Hannah for telling everybody else in the other tribe that I have an advantage. And I love you, but generally in the future, that's not exactly the best way to make friends. You know, if people are talking here, you guys could address me by name. Everybody knows that what I have. So, I mean, it's no surprise. You know, everybody knows. So let's just not beat around the bush. Let's just be frank about it. There's no reason to bullshit at this point. We all know who has it, what is had.
Do you want to say what it is?
I mean,
yeah, now you're beating around the bush.
I don't know. Why do you make me second guess myself?
Andrew, you do want to
say it, Andrew?
Now you are bullshitting.
Well,
yeah, no, I guess I am.
Hey, is it my turn now? Alright, if I followed everything correctly, I believe that Derek gained an immunity idol for himself and for one other person since he made it to the merge. Am I right? And Sean made it. Yeah, okay. I didn't know about that part. But
Sean, what do you think of that?
I mean, I don't really nothing to think about it. It's just there's 2 idols in the game.
I'm still here.
Yeah, honestly, there's just, you know, there's not much to it other than there's idols in the game, and we all know how that can affect it. So,
just to get this talking point, and Abby, you also received the snake advantage, kind of blindsiding everyone on your tribe, being that you were the snake. Do you think you might be a target, being no one really knows what that is?
That's not true because I told every single person what it was. So I can steal a vote, like I'm throwing it out there. I don't want people to know that I think I have an idol. I've sent pictures of it. I don't really care. It's not really something that needs to be hidden. If I feel like it has a target on my back, I'll waste it and use it at a random point when I don't need to. But I've told certain people how I intend to use it in the future. So if they want to go with that plan, then hopefully they'll keep me around and we can use it together. But if not, I'll throw it away.
Addie, steal a vote, double idol, these advantages, kind of crazy. Do you think both could be exposed today?
I think there is a big possibility for both of them to be exposed. I think, yeah, that's all I got.
And Austin, what do you think this vote will do towards the rest of the merge going forward?
I think it'll set who's working the vote. I mean, at this point, the numbers lie. There's not much room for things to change. So I think once this vote happens, it's going to set in stone for the next couple of votes.
I feel like I'm about to puke. Might have just completely fucked myself over in this game. But if I did, then I just have to remind myself that it's a game. And also, who would know that I was the one that told Geneva? I'd have to figure that out. She also told me that she doesn't think we have the votes to get out Austin. So, literally want to die and puke at the same time. Please, for the love of God, let this work. If Derek plays this fucking idol for Austin, I don't know what I'm gonna do.
Regular snake.
It's going to either be you or me. Everyone's confident that Sean's going to vote with us. I'm not 100% with that, so it's the first week I'm worried that I'm going home. I'm not going to say anything cocky this week because I'd look pretty bad if I did.
Hope it's you, not me.
Once the votes are read, the decision is final. The person voted out will be asked to leave tribal council area immediately. If anyone has a hidden immunity idol and wants to play it, now will be the time to do so.
Why I started my sock, I don't know. Let's try to be secretive, I guess.
Derek, stand right here. Rules of Syrvivor Syracuse state: if an idol is played on that person, no votes casted for that person will count. This is a hidden immunity idol, and it is also a double idol, which means that Derek will be safe, and he gets to pick one other person to save in this game. Derek, your choice?
Now?
Now.
Austin.
Austin. So no votes for Derek or Austin will count. Thank you, Derek. If anybody else has a hidden immunity idol and wants to play it, now will be the time to do so. Okay, I'll read the votes. First vote, Austin. Does not count. Austin. Does not count. Austin. Does not count. Austin. Let's go! Austin does not count. That's 5 votes red, none counted, 6 left.
Oh shit! Wow, that's good.
Austin does not count. 7 votes red, 4 votes left, none counted.
Wow. All right.
Derek does not count.
I'm so confused.
I don't know.
I'm so confused.
Jack.
Nice move, y'all.
1 vote Jack, 2 votes
Impressive.
Damn.
The 9th person voted out of Syrvivor Syracuse, Snakes and Secrets, and the first member of our jury, Jack. Jack, can you grab the torch?
You almost had us. We got down to the last minute.
Villains never win. Jack, try this one. Stay tuned for scenes from our next episode.
Whatever you got to say.
I figured I was gonna go home this week. Honestly, not too surprised. It was a good move. I figured it'd be either me or Austin, and I kind of figured that somebody was gonna play Austin. You know, I wanted to change it last second. It was too obvious. Kind of speechless right now. So that's just a tough scene, but that's one way to go home, I guess, and definitely won't be forgotten. So love Survivor. Yeah, that's about it.
Next time.